Hey guys, welcome back to Vince Bell Customs, and today I'm sharing with you a Savage Lane Storm garage kit that I just finished painting up for somebody with a little bit of custom work of adding a crown. This was actually sculpted by Sheridan Deuce and produced by DXA Design. So if you subscribe to my channel, you would see that I've done a bunch of reviews on the kit. I've did a couple work in progress videos on painting up the skin tones. I think I've done a video on painting the base. If not, I've also did a live stream video of painting up the base too, which was a lot of fun. People came in and hung out with that. But I think these, I've done a bunch of these, so I think this is the 7th one I've worked on. This is the last one I have in my rotation of stuff for people. So as I work on multiples of items, I always like to ask people, you know, would you like maybe some custom work? Would you like some different colors? Maybe you want, you know, maybe a different base. You know, so with kits, you know, you can do a lot of different things for people and really change things up. So this one was one of those things where I started working on it. The client was just, you know, had some specific colors that he wanted. And as I got to the point where I started painting it, he decided to kind of, you know, add the crown onto her. And usually I don't actually, you know, do custom work after I start painting. Usually when the client says, hey, go for paint, and that's it, we go for paint. We don't go backwards. Otherwise, you know, that creates more of a problem. But with this one, I made a little bit of an exception because I only just really started the skin tone. And it was just a matter of sort of trying to plan how am I going to get this crown on her. So we'll get a little bit closer and I'll kind of explain how that worked out. But it's a really great kit. I like it a lot. I mean, it's Storm. It's great painting this kit up. It's really great for, you know, like skin tone studies and really kind of working that out and everything. So it was pretty cool. Now, I did do a live stream of painting up this base. So if you sub to my channel, I do random live streams now every once in a while. A lot of people came in. We just kicked back and talked. And I just pretty much painted up. I have the archive on my channel, so you guys can check that out as well. But it's a really great kit. I really enjoyed painting it up. People always ask me, how can you paint up, you know, the same item over and over or do the same things? I just absolutely love this hobby and love this stuff where I can just do it over and over and never really be bored of it. So, you know, it was a lot of fun working on this last one. So now we just go on to new projects. But we'll get in closer. I kind of explain how I did this crown a little bit. It was tricky, but it worked out pretty well. So as I started working on it, it was a little bit, you know, how was I going to get this crown onto her and make it look like the comic book art, but, you know, be able to do it without destroying, like, the paint that I already did and mess everything up. So what I decided was I kind of chiseled out the hair in front, and I kind of chiseled out around that area there, and I kind of took the hair back a little bit. So I had this weird little gap here. What I did after that is I took some Aves, and I let the Aves dry for about 2 hours till it got really hard. And so I sort of bent the Aves around the face, and I kind of let it like harden it up. And I also made sure while I was hardening it could kind of like slide in and out of the face where it wouldn't scrape anything. And it worked out perfect. So after that, I shaped this piece of Aves or Magic Sculpt. I forget exactly what I used. And I got that base round area with the crown in these pieces. And then after that, I had to sort of fill in some stuff and smooth it all out. So once I got that base part on, I was like, okay, what do I do next? How is this going to work? So what I came up with the idea is I had this little circle piece in my box of parts, which is like, I don't know, it's kind of like a rivet for like jeans, buttons and stuff like that. And I added that on top there, and I added Aves around it and everything, and I got that little piece up there. So that worked out pretty well. But the only problem was how was I going to come up with these two horn pieces that come off the crown and not to have them break because it's very fragile and it's thin. So I went into, you know, all my stuff, supplies in the garage. I went looking around, so I figured the best thing to do would be use like sheet metal. That's the only thing I could really come up with. So I had some brass sheet metal, or maybe it was aluminum. I forget it, maybe steel. I forget exactly what the piece was. And what I did is I made like a little bit of a drawing of the pieces, and I kind of cut them out, and then I grinded them down with my grind tools. But that piece actually goes in at an angle. It's like really far, so the pieces have to go behind the crown. That was the only way I could really work it. If I was designing this in the beginning, I could have made this whole crown one piece, but I think after I started working on it and I added these pieces in, I actually kind of used some A's and I blended it, and it actually works out pretty good. So it's really sturdy. I mean, yes, if you catch it with a piece of cloth or a dust rag or something, you can actually break the paint and rip it out. But it's a lot more sturdy than, you know, A's. So you can see, like, if I'm pushing it, I'm pushing all of her, whereas A's would probably break off right away. So that's kind of what it came up for the crown. So it was a little bit tricky. It was a little bit tough to paint in there too, because I had to do a little bit of A's work and everything. And I'm still kind of going over just to make sure I didn't miss anything, because it's just, you know, it's just really hard to kind of like do this as I'm painting. If it was like in the beginning, I could have had it all flushed out and worked it out from there. But that's what I came up with. So it's really cool. This one is really different from the rest of them. Just by adding the crown, it kind of feels a little bit more like Storm, old classic Storm. But, you know, we got that Savage Land look to her. Now, as far as the paint apps go, you can see I just pretty much painted up the, you know, the same way I did all the other ones. The loincloth is attached to her, because these legs are attached. We didn't do the separated legs on this one, where she has the loincloth or the bikini version. He liked just the loincloth, so we just went with that route. And just pretty much painted it all up like the other ones, just kind of ran with it. Added, these two gems here are actually white gems, but I had to kind of clear them in orange because I couldn't find any oranges in these sizes. I went everywhere looking and I just couldn't find it. We added a blue one up here just to kind of give a little bit of a difference, kind of break it up a little bit more. But for the gems on her wrist pieces, I did find orange ones off of these two pendants at like a Hobby Lobby, and there was only 2 left and I couldn't find any more. So basically I was able to do it for just these 2 bracelets, and that worked out pretty well. Other than that, real metal hoop earrings just to kind of give it a little bit more pop there. And then, like I said, the base is pretty much painted up like I've done some of the other ones, a little bit different. But I did the live stream on this one. After the live stream was over, I went back and I touched up a couple things here and there. I sent pics to the client. He really liked it a lot. So that's pretty much where we ended that. And that's pretty much it. Straightforward. As far as the skin tone, it's Garage Kit colors, paint ups. They're skin tones mixed in with some other brands here and there. I did some videos on that like I mentioned, so you can check those out. I'll link them in the description. Basically everything else is just random paints, and that's pretty much it. So that is the 7th Savage Land Storm statue that I finished up with actually the old school crown. Let me know what you guys think. I had a lot of fun doing this one. And got a lot more projects in the works for 2020. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back with some more videos.